Movsar Evloev just got his hand raised against Lerone Murphy this weekend, and I'm not sure if he should even get the next title shot. But first, before we even talk about title shots, I want to discuss the fight in general. So I do think that Lerone Murphy, I think it should have been Lerone Murphy win or a draw. I don't really see how you could give 4 rounds to Movsar Evloev. That means you have to give 4 rounds to Movsar with the point deduction in order to give him the fight, and I really don't see how that could happen. He lost a point in round 4. That was a 9-9 round. Round 5, Movsar won. Round 3, you could argue Movsar won, but rounds 1 and rounds 2, I think, were very clear to Lerone Murphy. Round 3, I also think Lerone Murphy edged it out, but it was very close. Round 4, Movsar did very well, but he did get the point deduction, and then round 5, I think Movsar had his best round there, but I don't see how you could give Movsar Evloev the fight. You'd have to give Movsar probably round 1, 3, 4, and 5, but I don't know. I don't know. Either way, I do think that Lerone Murphy should have won, but either way, I don't think that those guys are the first or second best fighters in the featherweight division. I think those guys are probably like the third or fourth best contenders in the featherweight division because I think Diego Lopez and Gene Silva are both better than Movsar and Lerone Murphy, and I kind of think that Kevin Vallejos is maybe better also, but I don't know. We'll have to see more out of Kevin Vallejos, right? Who knows how good he really is? But I do kind of feel like that Vallejos would probably give Lerone Murphy and maybe even Movsar Evloev the business. And I think Arnold Allen's very good as well. I think Arnold Allen has looked way more impressive. I think Gene Silva and Arnold Allen looked way better than both of these guys when they fought. I really was just not impressed with what I saw, and I think that Movsar Evloev's going to get smoked by Alexander Volkanovski. I don't even know if he should be the next guy fighting for the title. I mean, obviously he should be, but it's not a very interesting fight, in my opinion. I think Movsar is going to get schooled, right? And I don't like the idea of Gene Silva getting the next title shot. I think Gene Silva needs one more. I respect Aljo for fighting, right? He's a former defending bantamweight champion, right? And he's just fighting and fighting and fighting, looking for guys. He takes on the up-and-coming contender in Yusuf Zalal and Aljo's. I'm pretty sure Aljo's ranked above Gene Silva right now. I would have liked to see Gene Silva versus Aljo. I think that would have been a good number one contenders fight. I think that Gene Silva needs to fight again, though. You got Diego Lopez fighting Steve Garcia, which is a good fight. And then when Diego Lopez wins, he's probably going to need one more before he gets a title shot. I think Yair Rodriguez is probably going to have to get off his ass and fight eventually, so he's going to be looking for a fight. I think Yair should maybe fight Kevin Vallejos or maybe Gene Silva, right? And then you got Lerone Murphy and Movsar Evloev, who they just fought. Movsar wins. I was not really impressed with the performance, if I'm going to be honest, but I digress. Movsar Evloev gets the next title shot. He's fighting Alexander Volkanovski next, I'm sure. I've been seeing some people talk about Gene Silva getting the next title shot, and Gene Silva's been saying that he's going to get the next title shot, but I'm really hoping and praying that that's not what happens, because I feel like it'd be pretty retarded for Gene Silva coming off of one win and a loss by knockout, spinning elbow knockout. He gets one win and now he gets a title shot. He beat Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen hasn't won a fight in multiple years, and he's like, I don't know, bro. Arnold Allen is like, he's ranked like 6th or 7th maybe, or 8th, so it's like, I'm not really sure. I'm pretty sure he might actually be ranked like 8th or 9th, and that's who Gene Silva's coming off of a win against, and he's fighting Melky next, and I do think he beats Melky. I do think he beats up Melky, and I like the Arnold Allen's being active. I think that's very good, but I don't know. I don't think that Gene Silva should get a title shot off of a win like that, so I like the idea of Movsar getting the title shot. It's like a free, gift-wrapped win for Alexander Volkanovski. I think Movsar Evloev's going to lose to Alexander Volkanovski, and I do think that Volk might finish him here. I think that Volk might TKO him on the feet. At 38 years old, Alexander Volkanovski's going to go in there and defend his featherweight title and probably finish Movsar Evloev and take his O, because Movsar is 20-0, but I don't think that that undefeated record is going to stay much longer because, dude, Volk, man! I think Volk beats up everybody that's not like a dangerous power puncher. I do think Gene Silva would slime him out and knock him out, though. So I do not want to see the Gene Silva fight. I think Gene Silva probably finishes Volk. Keep Gene Silva far away from Volkanovski. I hate that idea. I hate it. It'll be the most undeserving title shot ever, and he's going to win the title. I really, really don't like it. I think Gene Silva would slime out Volk. But I think Volk slimes out Movsar Evloev and Lerone Murphy and Diego Lopez again, if they ever fight again. And Yair Rodriguez, if they ever fight again. And Arnold Allen, if they ever fought. Or Aljo as well. I think he beats up Aljo. But I think dangerous power punchers like Gene Silva and Gene Silva, right? I think could knock out Alexander Volkanovski, and that's kind of been Volk's kryptonite throughout his career. And I know that he went 2 fights with Diego Lopez and kind of schooled Diego Lopez, but Diego Lopez does a lot of things wrong. He does a lot of things incorrectly. He's very bad at cutting off the fence. He's very plotty and flat-footed, not very light on his feet. He's very one-dimensional with his striking. Doesn't have a good jab, can't use a good jab, not good at setting up his power punches. I think Diego Lopez does a lot of things wrong, and I think Volk was able to kind of capitalize on that because Diego Lopez has always relied on his toughness and his grit and his power and his aggression to really win him fights, but he does a lot of things fundamentally wrong, and I don't think that Gene Silva does a lot of things fundamentally wrong. He's a very crisp striker, extremely powerful, he's very fast. He was dominating Diego Lopez, not dominating him, but I think he was on his way to slamming out Diego Lopez. I mean, he looked very, very good in that second round. He was landing at will on Diego Lopez's chin. He was landing front kicks to the face on Diego Lopez, spinning elbows on Diego Lopez, and he did wind up getting knocked out. He was way too over-aggressive in that fight, but I don't think Volk is going to, like, knock out Gene Silva for being over-aggressive. I think Gene Silva maybe would back Volk up and knock him out on the feet. I really don't want to see that fight. I'd love to see Movsar Evloev versus Alexander Volkanovski instead, because I do think that Volk would beat him up and get a title defense and maybe even finish Movsar. I think Movsar is an amazing stylistic matchup for Volk, and I think Volk is a very tough stylistic matchup for Movsar. And it seems like Movsar, no matter who he fights, he takes them to a relatively close decision. No matter what level of fighter it is, if it's Hakeem Dawodu, or if it's Diego Lopez in his debut, or if it's Dan Ige, or if it's Lerone Murphy, or if it's Arnold Allen, he takes them to like really close decisions every time. And I do think that Arnold Allen should have won their fight, but I don't know. The featherweight division, it's extremely exciting right now. I think these guys, there are a lot of fun matchups that you guys got to make, or that the UFC needs to make. I think that Yair Rodriguez needs to get off his ass and fight, because Yair is somehow ranked in the top 4. I have no idea how that's even happening. And Lerone Murphy, what's next for Lerone Murphy? I don't even know. And I don't even really care, honestly. That fight was it was a decent fight, but I think both of their stocks kind of dropped in that fight, and I'm not very excited for either of them if they were to fight Alexander Volkanovski, but I hope that Movsar Evloev gets the title shot. I think Volk would school him and beat him up. And if you guys like what I'm saying, if you guys agree with me, comment down below, let me know. If you guys don't, you guys should also comment anyway. Boost the algorithm, make me all viral, and all the good stuff like that. Like the video if you guys like the video, subscribe to my channel, and who's with me?